talked about tax reform in relation to, one way or another, economic development. And I'd like to explore that a little bit further. Beyond tax reform or tax issues, what are the steps that are needed to grow our economy here in Georgia, and what is the proper role for the state in doing that?
Economic development is one of the reasons I'm running. Jobs is one of the most important, if not the most important thing that we can be talking about. And to improve jobs in Georgia, we've got to focus on three things. Number one, we've got more college graduates in this area than in most areas of the country. That's why we have to preserve hope. Number two, when we talk about regulations, I've got a specific plan that requires regulations to be reviewed by the department once every 6 years. That gives public input, and they can be passed or they can be stopped. That's the area I practice in law. And it's a way to make sure that when we talk about regulations specifically, you can see what we can do going forward, and that could be enacted pretty quickly. The next thing we're going to have to do is focus on water. When you talk about other states competing with us, water, traffic, and public education, that's what they talk about. And that means keeping all options on the table, including going up to the volunteer state and taking back what is ours. And Brad Carver's been one of the leaders on that. And in terms of tax policy, again, I think, one of the things when we look at these other states and talking to folks where we deal with recruiting, often we don't lose on the income tax because of our job tax credit system and so on. If we can keep the access to capital flowing to Georgia's small businesses through things like alternative investments, and we can reduce the tax burden on the income tax side, but we don't want to end up in a situation where we've got double-digit sales taxes. Tennessee's sales tax right now is about 2.5% higher than ours. Florida's is higher than ours, and they tax corporations in Florida. So we've got to have an approach that works and one that we know is across the board and specific.